21st installment of The Passion of the Digital Artist. Greetings everyone, Xavier here, and I'm talking with Jeff Mueller. How you been, Jeff? It's been a while.
I've been awesome, phenomenal, great, super, everything that it's just been such a phenomenal 2 weeks since I finished my social media multimedia project. This week, finishing up coaching my son's midget football league. They're in the championship. That means I get to go after tonight full out social media and just regular conventional way, going out talking to people, talking about digital art and the art temperature or community or climate of today. And I'm so excited about it.
Don't hold back, Jeff. Tell us how you really feel. I guess you're excited. First off, that's pretty exciting about your son and the game and the fact that you're coaching. So good luck with that.
Thanks.
And you had something really exciting to tell me about our social media hero.
Our social media hero of the week, we haven't done this for a while, but this week I really felt that it was time to get back to promoting someone that to me has just motivated me, made me just antsy and wanting to get out of my seat and start doing all the things I need to do to promote my project. Her name is Susan Milner. It's at Susan Milner at Twitter. I met her through Twitter, and I just started to touch base on finding the people that I'm going to need to promote my project, because I'm pretty much open to all different venues, and whether they be internet venues, conventional venues, it doesn't matter. But I prefer it all, this project to be, because of the fact of what the project is to be available through a gallery and online, all at the same time, culminating with the relaunch of my website. And I'm working on my website. I've been working hard and heavy on it, getting all the stuff that I need to do. It's probably, but my goal is to do it probably early spring. That's my goal for when I would like to have my first showing. Now, Susan, contacting her and I've talked to her probably 3 or 4 times on the phone, and she has been such an inspiration to me, because part of what I'm doing, she is reiterating that I'm on the right track, and she's excited about it. Now, Susan she works at Fine Art Services, and her job is to appraise appraise artwork, jewelry, that type of thing, to give a value. They're well known. They're out of North Carolina, and they do it for insurance purposes, for people just to find out value. So it's been really exciting to have someone in the art business who really, she loves art. There's no doubt about that. Susan loves art, and she's very excited. And although she's been in the business for a long time, she basically is excited about new artists. She likes to see what's going on and how the climate changes.
You had mentioned to me some of the things that you discussed with her that she brought out. Specifically, and we've made a point about the social media multimedia series and its inspiration, but to net it out, what are some of the challenges that you and Susan discussed that an artist faces in today's 21st century multimedia connected world as compared to, say, 50 years ago or even 5 years ago?
Well, it used to be that artists, when they were creating, it was a lot more confined. You were working in your studio. If you were working and getting into the art community, you were going to art fairs, or you were getting out, and you had to make an effort to get out to meet other artists. But that still exists. There's a local community, but you can connect also online via Facebook, via Twitter. All the different social media connections allow you to be more aware of the artists in your community. Then you can contact them, and then talk amongst yourselves, and you're also talking amongst artists all over the world. I've talked with artists from Great Britain, Australia, there's Ireland. They're pretty much on every continent. I've had conversations with artists, and that's something that is unique in the fact that before that would have been a really tough thing. Maybe you talked to one if they visited through, or you went to a city where they were at because they were well known. But right now, you can talk to well-known artists, you can talk to up-and-coming artists, you can talk to established commercial, whatever you want to do, they're out there. And then when you're talking through other artists, the creative flow that's happening, really, and the ideas and artists helping artists, really has been creating a climate that right now I feel is on the verge of just kind of exploding, where personal fine art is just right there ready to go, where people, instead of going out and having it's going to become more available. And
I wanted to ask you about that, and she brought up some points per what you were telling me before, and I can relate to this because before I met you, I really knew very little about art. I'd had some, Western cultural traditions in college, and maybe a few other classes that touched upon it, but I pretty much was, in the true sense of the word, ignorant to a lot of aspects of art. And the emphasis of your answer, the last question, talks about the supply of art and getting the art out there. And you were going to touch upon the average person. What does the average person, say me, before I met you a few years back? My idea of art was something to fill a wall space. I would go to Pat Catan's, or God forbid, the vendor selling the black velvet prints beside the gas station corner, or what have you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and not to talk down about them, but there are other alternatives to art and understanding some truly fine art. And Susan made some points about that.
Well, one of the points, and I agree with her, is that let's say you go someplace and you spend $100 for a print and a frame, and you hang it on, or let's say $200, $250, or if you have a budget, you can spend $500,000. But what you're getting, and a lot of times what you're paying for, is just the frame. The framing as an artist is, sometimes you do a piece of art and you could put a $600 frame on it, you could put a $150 frame on it, and then someone will ask you, well, why are you selling that for $250? And you say, well, the frame cost, in your mind you're saying, well, the mat and the frame was $200. I'm really charging $50 for the artwork. But most artists are they're somewhat insecure in that the fact that they want people to like their artwork. And so based off of them wanting your artwork, so if you know an artist and let's say you have a $250 budget and you want a specific thing for your living room or a wall space, if you talk to him, more often than not, he's going to do it within your budget because you want his art on your wall, not spending the same amount of money and just going out and buying a random
print or whatever,
right, print or that type of thing. So what social media is allowing you to do is that in that case, you just don't have to know your next door neighbor like me, but in the landscape of art today, you can basically look up artists and actually have conversations with them, and there's a good chance, if you let them know how much you love their artwork and that you would love to have a piece, they're going to give you something reasonable, and you're going to be able to put that on the side, or they'll paint something for you. Artists love to create, and if they're being compensated for what they're creating, that's one thing. But if they're being compensated and also admired and built up, that really helps them out, and it inspires them to do artwork. So right now, it's getting to the point where you have this mass production of artwork being produced, but at the same time, it's going to become more and more personalized, and you're going to be able to get original art for your house, and the average person is going to be able to get it. I use the scenario with wines. A lot of average people now drink wine. It used to be a club, and that club still exists in the art world, but at the same time now, the average person is starting to go out to the art walks and all the downtown communities and all the art districts that have been set up, and they're able to purchase art for their home.
Wow, some interesting information. Susan, thank you very much for your input. One thing I wanted to mention too, and I'm sure you want to elaborate on this, but we lost a giant in the social media industry, Steve Jobs. It was certainly a sad day. You know, he was likened to the Edison of his day. I would say that's an understatement, if anything. He certainly touched a bunch of lives and are making a lot of aspects of what you're doing now possible with his inventions.
Oh, he'll be missed. Me being a complete and total Apple person, he's just been, ever since I've been in computers since 1988, and I've always known, and he's always been the innovator to move forward and give us tools that artists, it's just, you just have to thank him.
Yep. Thank you, Steve, and rest in peace. And thanks, everyone, for joining us for this installment. We'll talk with you later.
And go Brewers!
Go Brewers!